Hi, and welcome to the Microdose Diet. I'm Peggy Van de Plassche, and I am super, super excited. I always say I have an amazing guest because obviously I would never invite someone I don't think is amazing. So I will say it again. I have an amazing guest today, and this is Donald Gauvreau. Hello, Donald. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So, let me give a bit of context of who Donald is. So, he's the co-founder of, you've been the co-founders of many, many ventures, but we're going to focus on two today. So, the first one is Earth Powder. And maybe some of you have seen some of my videos on Earth Powder because I'm a super fan. So, that's why I'm so excited to have him with us today. And he's also the founder of Conscious Mind Labs. So these two ventures are really at the cutting edge of plant-based wellness and cognitive health. So Donald is really like super dedicated to science-backed high quality supplements. And so if you look at what he's been doing, he really brings this unique perspective on the power of functional mushrooms and adaptogen to support your mental health, clarity, and holistic well-being. So in this episode, we will discuss Earth Powder, Conscious Mind Labs, how they're redefining natural wellness, but also how you, who is listening today, can tap into these benefits really to elevate your own journey of personal growth and just health and wellness in general. So, Donald, thank you so, so much again for being here. Sorry for the long introduction. There are so
Oh,
many
it's
things to
wonderful.
say about you. So,
Thank you.
I mentioned you're the founder, as I say, Earth Powder and Conscious Minds Lab. These two ventures really have a very strong foundation in natural wellness. So, can you share a bit about your journey, but also what led you to create these companies?
Yeah, absolutely, Peggy. And thanks again for having me on your podcast. So it's always a pleasure to speak with you. And thank you for that wonderful introduction and setting the stage here. I guess I could share a little bit about my background. I've always been, even growing up when I was very young, I was always very much into athletics and sports and things like that. And I played sports in high school, and then I went on to university and played football at university as well. And I studied kinesiology. I did my undergraduate degree in kinesiology. And so throughout high school and throughout university, I was really super focused on increasing my performance and how could I
Mhm.
get that edge as an athlete and even as a student at
Yeah.
school too. So I've always been just deeply passionate about trying to figure out how to increase performance, how to level up, how to improve myself. And I was really focused on the physical body and
Mhm,
physical
mhm.
performance at that time, being younger and being into athletics. So that's why I decided to study kinesiology. I even did my first research paper on creatine, which is a
Oh,
very
yeah.
famous and popular sports supplement. And I had to argue with my professor at the time to even be allowed to do a research paper on that topic, which is kind of funny because it's the most heavily researched sports supplement right now, to this date. And there's been, hundreds, if not thousands, of clinical trials on it now. So when I was in university, I was studying. I studied nutrition as well, in addition to my kinesiology. So I've just always been focused on improving health, improving performance.
Yeah.
And my previous company was a sports nutrition company, it was very successful. And I had a lot of fun and a great time developing that brand from I think 2008 up until 2019 when I exited that company and sold my 50% stake in it.
Mhm.
And the reason I did that is I realized as I got older, I was so focused on increasing performance and increasing physical stamina and building my body. I competed in bodybuilding too, when I was younger as well. And I realized that I had neglected, the holistic aspect of health. And
Mhm,
I had
mhm.
really neglected, I'm almost embarrassed to say I neglected my mental health,
Yeah.
to a significant degree. As I was getting older, it became apparent to me that I needed to kind of refocus things and really start to focus more on holistic health as I got older, thinking more about longevity and aging. And then also really focusing more on mental health and
Yeah.
realizing and understanding that mental health, physical, I mean, it all ties together. By improving your mental health, your physical health is going to improve. By improving
Yes.
your physical health, your mental health is going to improve. So I
Exactly.
really started to get into and started to research and study different ingredients and different compounds that can improve mental health.
Hmm.
Um, and at that time, I was really just focused on doing research, and so I started to look into medicinal mushrooms and functional mushrooms. I did a lot of research on cannabinoids too back at that
Yeah.
time, and specifically CBD and different non-THC cannabinoids that could help improve mental health, that could
Yeah.
help with pain, that could help with addiction, things like that. And then that was when the pandemic started to come on back in 2019, 2020. And the state of mental health here in North America is, I think we're at a point where it's a crisis, you could say.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It's deteriorated to a point where it's almost like subpar mental health is the norm nowadays, and it shouldn't be
Hmm.
that way. And I realized that I was fortunate enough that I had so much information, so much knowledge, so many different tools that I could access or that I had access to um, that could improve mental health as I was going through and researching different formulas and different ingredients. And at that time, that's when I decided to found Conscious Mind. And Conscious Mind, I really founded Conscious Mind to address the global mental health crisis
Hmm.
in a unique way, in a way that truly believe can help people.
Yeah.
And that's essentially our mission. Things have changed over, I founded Conscious Mind in 2020, and we're 4 years in now, and we really started to focus on the clinical aspect and the treatment aspect
Yeah.
of mental health with Conscious Mind. So we're really focused on building out Conscious Mind Clinic here in Vancouver,
Hmm.
and we've established a model here that we're really excited about. It's really all about collaboration. So we have a platform here where we're really focused on a few different types of therapy, but somatic-based therapies
Okay.
and psychedelic assisted therapies as well too.
Okay.
We use the therapists that we have here use all different kinds of tools,
Hmm.
and they really take a holistic approach.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to create here is a platform, a collaborative platform where empathetic, highly skilled practitioners and therapists, doctors, nurses can come together um, and essentially change the landscape of healthcare. That's our real goal is to change the landscape of healthcare and
Yeah.
help people heal, grow, and thrive in meaningful ways, and in meaningful ways to each individual. Because something that might be meaningful to someone else,
Yeah.
or might not have the same value to someone else. So we really try to, we're really trying to put the power back into the patient's hands,
Okay.
right? Because we all have that internal power and that strength to heal, to help to heal ourselves, to improve, to level up. But it's just a matter of educating people and giving them the right tools. And psychedelics are one of those tools.
Hmm.
And there's many other holistic and other wonderful tools that can complement the therapy that we're offering here.
And very recently, you decided to go one step further because you started Earth Powder. So tell us more how you think the connection between what you're doing with your background, your interest in holistic health, mental and physical. And so Conscious Mind is taking care of a very important aspect. But I do believe that nutrition, if you don't have a great nutrition, it's going to be very difficult to have great mental and physical health. So you doubled down and went one step further with Earth Powder.
Yeah, I mean, I have such a great deep passion for creating wellness products, especially health supplements. I've been working in the health supplement industry for, gosh, I'm getting old now, over 25 years now.
Yeah.
I started working in for one of the largest companies in the industry back in 2001. They were called Muscle Tech at the time, and they're now called Iovate. And they're still to this day one of the largest companies in the world. But I learned a lot back then from a lot of great people. I got to work in the research department. I had the ability to learn from a lot of great doctors and food scientists. And then over time, I just started to hone my skills and really start to focus in on research, on ingredients, on formulations. And it's just a real passion of mine. So, with earth powder, um, it's kind of like I like to really look at it. It's like almost a culmination of my life's journey and my life story, all wrapped into to one beautiful product. Um, and really, what we're trying to do with Earth Powder is we're trying to change the world. I mean,
Mhm.
it sounds like, everyone has these lofty goals in that. But myself and my two partners, George Banakis and Adrian Burke, who I'm working with on this project, we are all really aligned in this, and we're aligned in it in different ways. And I like to talk about Adrian for a second, but he grew up in the forest, literally planting trees. Like that's
Okay.
how he was brought up. His father taught him, and he's planted trees for many, many, many summers when he was growing up. And George is another person that has great alignment with the whole brand and the community aspect of Earth Powder. He's a community leader. He's a volunteer coach. He gives back to his community. And so we all have this kind of alignment that, we respect our communities, we want to build our communities, and we want to help people, and we also want to help the planet at the same
Mhm.
time.
Well,
And
and if I may interject, so if you buy a pack of hair powder, you're actually planting a tree. I saw that when I was on the website. I thought it was pretty cool, actually. So when you're saying one of your partner was planting trees, I'm like, oh, that's why.
yeah, absolutely. And that's you know, yeah, that's something we're doing is with every order, we will plant a tree. It's with a really cool project called the Eden Reforestation Project. And it's done through a company called the Good API and their Sprout app. So there's a little bit of tech involved there. But it's a really incredible mission. And it supports the whole brand and the whole
Yeah, yeah.
ecosystem and the community that we're trying to build. And there's a phase two to this as well, which we're super excited about. And the phase two of this will be every order also removes a piece of plastic or a certain amount of plastic from the
Ah,
ocean. And
fabulous. So
and
you
so
have
that
the sea and you have the land because one thing, so for the people, I am obviously you can see the package is open. I put earth powder in my own shake every day, and you can see there is land greens, there are ocean greens as well, mushrooms and more. So obviously you're doing the land with the tree, where you're doing ocean by removing the plastic from the water. But what I really think is unique with your product, and you're going to be able to explain a bit more, but you have 87 ingredients in that product. And the goal is really to help detoxify. If you're like me, you're constantly trying to detoxify, but also to bring your body into homeostasis. So I'd like to maybe double click for a second on that, on the number of ingredients, but also on the mission of detoxifying and homeostasis. So what is homeostasis for most of us who don't know what it is?
yeah, I mean, homeostasis is essentially your body's different systems. So like your endocrine system, all the different nervous system. Um, it's keeping your body in balance. So it's like, so if you're under a stressful situation, your body's going to be stressed, you're going to react, you're going to release adrenaline, norepinephrine, and that's your body's way of eventually bringing it back to homeostasis.
Mhm.
So you want to, I mean, ideally, we want to, as humans, we want to be operating in a state of homeostasis as much as we possibly
Yeah,
can,
yeah. Mhm, mhm.
keeping in balance. And so that's what earth powder is really designed to do, because if we can stay in homeostasis and stay in balance, then we can get a ton of other benefits um, from that as well, like improved mental clarity and cognition, an improvement in mood, an improvement in energy levels, greater digestion and gut health, and then that
Mm-hmm.
can also lead into greater immunity and a stronger immune
Yeah.
system. And this can all lead to rejuvenated body tissues. And another important aspect of earth powder is how it helps detoxify the body.
Mm-hmm.
And it provides protection against things like heavy metals, microplastics,
Wow.
and even EMF. And it's the nutrients inside the product that provide that protection. But the world that we live in right now, and especially in North America, more so than ever, is like we're operating like our baseline is basically like operating at a high level of stress. That's the
Exactly. That's a
that's the base
baseline. That's a
that's the
baseline. Yeah.
yeah, that's the baseline for most
Yeah.
people, and our baseline should really be down here. And
Exactly.
I run through stressful days and stressful times too. But it's about being mindful and aware of that, and bringing things and kind of checking yourself. And so Earth Powder is really designed to help people stay in homeostasis to really achieve and maintain optimal health
Yeah.
as a daily foundational supplement. So that's why there is so many ingredients in there. It is a really comprehensive formula. I like to explain it to people. It's really like 11 products in one. There's a
Exactly. Exactly. It's so cost efficient. Like that's what I was telling you last time, because if I look at it, high quality products, instead of having like 10 or 11 bottles, I have one bag.
Yeah, and we really tried to make sure that we put substantial, appropriate amounts of the key ingredients in there. We have 2.5 grams of organic spirulina in there in our
Mm,
super greens complex, along with 28 other super greens ingredients. We have 10 functional mushrooms and a full 2 grams of mushrooms in every serving, and that includes 1 gram of lion's mane as well,
yeah.
which is a clinical dose. We have a pro collagen support complex to help improve skin health. We have a complete probiotic complex in there with 2 patent protected probiotics at 30 billion CFU. We have a complete digestive enzyme complex, a complete
Yeah.
multivitamin complex, and even electrolytes in there as well too.
Mm,
So it's really a convenient solution that we wanted to
yeah.
take the guesswork and take the confusion out of things for consumers so they could have a once daily drink that they can take. Ideally, we recommend people take it in the morning
Mhm.
to start their day as part of a ritual. Um, but yeah, we really want to create that one-stop shop solution for improving homeostasis, improving balance in the body, and so people can achieve optimal health
Yeah.
and really thrive in this crazy world that we're living in now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit like leveling the playing field,
Yeah.
like, and making sure that, okay, you might not be able to remove the stress from your environment, but you can be better prepared to deal with that. And
Uh,
one thing that I find challenging, you mentioned in North America, is the quality of our food. And the quality of our food is not great. So all of the nutrients that we can get now with earth powder help us readjust as well our body to be able to better deal with stress. Because you're in a situation where there are a lot of stress, we cannot necessarily remove that, but you're depleted in the
yes.
nutrients that help you to manage it. So it's the double stick kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, especially a lot of B vitamins become depleted during times of high stress and that. And so replenishing, vitamin levels and mineral levels too, like, magnesium has incredible benefits for reducing anxiety and stress and helping
Yeah.
with sleep. And, it's really, and again, it comes back to taking that holistic approach to things. And there
Yeah.
is no like, one product is definitely not, there's no one
No, no.
magic pill. There's no
There's no
magic pill
silver
for
bullet.
anything,
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
know, right?
Exactly.
But it's another tool that we really believe can help people,
Yeah.
um, and also um, and also help people get connected back to nature too. That's one thing that we really advocate and encourage people to do through our blogs and through the educational materials that we put out. But like get back in touch with nature and use nature to your advantage. And that's what, kind of Earth Powder is doing, is it's taking all these beautiful gifts that the world and that the planet Earth has given us and putting them into something so that we can consume. But then at the same time, we also got to make sure that we give back to the earth, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And we show gratitude for these wonderful gifts that it has given us. Um, and yeah, that's really what Earth Powder is all about.
So I want to connect with what you just said and talking about personal growth, a bit through natural supplements, because it's something that I believe we tend to skip. It's whether people are just doing biohacking and
Mhm.
it's more this performance Silicon Valley approach, whether it's all meditation, but no actual, supplements. So, um, how do you see, I would say, the combination of mushrooms, adaptogen, support mental clarity, personal growth, and all does actually what you're doing with Earth Powder and also with the clinic, obviously, support this personal growth?
Yeah, that's a great question. You're right. And a lot of people, I mean, especially over the last seems like 5 to 10 years, people have really been focused on, and that was me,
Yeah, yeah,
performance, biohacking,
yeah, yeah.
getting that athletic edge, getting that mental edge.
Yeah.
Um, but I definitely take a different approach to things. So I think people like, especially with functional mushrooms and medicinal mushrooms, and a lot of these different herbs and adaptogens, especially, these have been used for thousands of years, if you can believe it. Like,
Yeah.
if not tens of thousands of
Yeah.
years, these things have been used traditionally. And I was doing a presentation the other day on some men's health supplements. And I made the point that, we have to really look at like I definitely have a science background and we even have a clinical trial approved here at the clinic for psychedelic assisted therapy. So, I went to university. I did a science degree and a master's degree and all that. So I do place a lot of emphasis and importance on the scientific method and clinical research and
Mhm,
stuff like
mhm,
that.
mhm.
But at the same time, I place just as much importance on traditional literature, traditional
Yeah.
medicine use,
Mhm.
because when you really think about it, it's like there's a much longer history of
Exactly.
traditional use than there
Exactly.
is of this scientific
Yeah.
clinical use,
Yeah.
which is very, very small window
Yeah.
in recent times.
Absolutely.
So I've been placing a lot more emphasis on studying the traditional use of these medicines and how they've been used traditionally to help improve mental health, cognition, holistic health. And I think we can marry the two. I really do believe that we
Exactly.
can marry the two.
I love your saying that because very often it's as if, whether you're art dye scientist, whether you are art dye traditional, but before I always think in these terms, before scientists have the idea of developer research, it's coming from an unproven theory. So it always comes from something that's unproven, that is maybe used already in traditional medicine. Then scientists look into it and find evidence to back it. But it's as if unless we have evidence from science, everything before is discarded.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
or the other way around, people who are very traditional discard everything done by the scientist, while I think it's actually building on each other.
Absolutely. I agree with you. There's things to take, there's valuable things and valuable information and lessons to take from all sides, right? Like the worst thing to do is to just be closed-minded to something and not even, listen to that side of the story, right? I think that's important to expose yourself to different opinions and different sources of
Yeah,
information, right? And then you can kind of make a more educated decision on
yeah,
what is relevant to you and what's not relevant to you. But we have a product actually here at the clinic. I'll show you, and this is a great example of kind of merging traditional medicine and science and such into one. It's a calming microdose product. I don't know if you can see it
yes,
there.
we can. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's made with Amanita muscaria, so it's
Yes, I mean,
made.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you that I just dried some of these out
Yes, 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 yes,
last
yes.
week when I talked to you. So these are the Amanita muscaria mushrooms. Now these mushrooms have been used for at least 10,000 or more um, years in the past. They've been used by the Koryak tribe up in Siberia, and they traveled the world, from there. That that could be up for debate because history is history is a lot is a lot to deal with. But we've gotten this product, so we've taken the Amanita muscaria, um, and which has been traditionally used for shamanic purposes, for healing, for physical ailment purposes
Yeah.
and healing. And so now we've done an extraction with that product or that mushroom and put it into this calming microdose product. And this product is actually licensed by Health Canada now.
Hmm.
And so we have an NPN for it. But it's kind of, we're taking the best of both worlds and,
Yeah.
just essentially making it a little bit more convenient for people.
Yes,
Um,
exactly. Exactly.
Also with the different extraction methods that you can use, you can actually change the composition of the chemicals in the product too. Um, but it's again, it's like the traditional use of that mushroom, it was incredible, but the world we live in now, we might not want to use it in the exact same way that they used it
Exactly.
because things are different, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
we can take we can take the teachings from the traditions and use it and apply it in ways that will help people in this world that we're currently living in. So yeah, there's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on we have to really look at both, traditional
Yeah.
use and the science.
So it brings me to a question for people who are listening and are getting excited, but they're new to this kind of supplements. Maybe they're not taking anything because, I am a big fan of supplement shops. For me, it's like candy store, and I go for one thing and I come back with a basket of 25 things. Some people get overwhelmed and they come for one thing and they leave with nothing because it seems too complicated. So, what advice do you have for people like that who want to incorporate like supplements like Earth Powder, like maybe the calming microdose into their daily life?
Yeah, I always tell people with anything, especially supplementation, to start slow.
Uh-huh.
Um, just and if we're talking about microdosing, things like that, I always tell people to start low with a low dose and go slow. So you could
Mhm.
almost apply that to any type of supplements, really.
Yeah.
Um, but I always advise people keep it simple to start because you want to build a routine. You want to
Yeah.
build some structure
Absolutely.
in your health and wellness routine, and that's the most important thing. So even if you just start out with one simple product, whether that's a daily multivitamin or something like that, something very simple, just to start the routine of taking, a health supplement.
Couldn't they start directly with Earth Powder, considering that
Yeah,
everything is
yeah.
inside?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's, essentially that's the reason why I created the
Yeah,
product
exactly.
is to make things more convenient for people.
Exactly.
To essentially take the guesswork, to take the confusion out, so that at the very least you can have a daily supplementation that's going to cover your foundational needs.
Exactly,
And that
exactly. And
and
I know you're not the type of person to toot your own horn, but I mean, someone who's starting something versus saying, okay, let's start product A and then you build it with product B, product C. You just start here, you have everything, it's already pre-calculated. It's only 1 tablespoon a day. So if you're like me, I take a shake in the morning.
Mhm.
Just put that in my shake. It couldn't be easier, and on top of that, it tastes very good. I love chocolate, and it has, probably because of a mushroom, it kind of have this aftertaste of chocolate. I didn't try it alone in hot water or in cold water. I put it in my shake, but it has
Mhm.
brought this very nice texture, but also a flavor. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you for that feedback. That was quite a challenge to get the flavor palette on that, kind of nailed
yeah,
down because there's all kinds of because there's 87 ingredients, which is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
Exactly.
a,
It's like
a
wow.
a
Ah,
bit of a bit of a nightmare to source, a bit of a nightmare to flavor,
yeah,
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. It took us a bit of time, but we work with a really amazing flavor science um, team, and yeah, we were able to achieve by using the different kind of tones and textures and flavors of some of the key ingredients in there that we have higher doses of, like lion's mane and the spirulina and that. Um, we were able to balance those out with a small amount of natural flavoring
Hmm.
from a um, cacao coffee um, source, which is 100% natural. And then we just added a little bit of stevia in there, natural
Hmm.
sweetener, and
Yeah.
stevia also provides antioxidant benefits
Ah,
as well. Yeah, it's a very potent antioxidant as well.
oh,
So
fabulous. I thought it was
yes,
just a replacement of sugar. I
no.
didn't realize there was something good. Okay, so we are getting short in time and the challenge that I could keep you for 2 hours. So we have 3 minutes left. So what I really want to have the opportunities to share with the listeners, where can they find you? Where can they learn more about Earth Powder? Anything you want to share about, I know you have an Instagram. Tell us everything.
Yeah, people can learn more about our company Earth Powder at earthpowder.com. We have yeah, I mean it's a great website to check out if even if you're not interested in the product itself, we have a lot of blog articles on there, so we have a lot of great information. Most of that information has been written by myself. So, and so it so it's a way for me to continue to share my
Mhm.
knowledge and help educate people. If they want to learn more about conscious mind, please visit consciousmindclinic.com. And my beautiful wife and partner on Conscious Mind, Vanathy, she really she's really the one that makes the magic happen here at the clinic. She's a registered nurse and a psychotherapist, and has extensive knowledge and experience facilitating psychedelic assisted therapy. And
Yeah.
so she's really one responsible for all the amazing things that are going on here. But to learn more about psychedelic assisted therapy, you can check out consciousmindclinic.com. And to learn more about myself, I guess you could probably Google me, or you can just go to my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I think my LinkedIn is under supplementgodfather.com. Or sorry, just Supplement Godfather.
I love that. So, anyway, in the show notes, I'll put all the links so people will be able to find you. And we had actually a podcast with Anati a few months ago. So, I will also put it so you can see more from her perspective, the clinic perspective, and how she connects the dots, coming with a very different story than yours. So, I think it's a great complement, not a supplement, a complement. So, thank you so, so much, Donald, for your time today. Really super exciting. And I hope we'll have you again on the show in a few months, talk even more about the product and all the amazing thing that's been happening for you.
Yeah, absolutely, Peggy. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share with the world. I really
Thank you
appreciate it.
so, so much, Donald. Have a great day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you too. Take
Bye
care, Peggy.
bye.